Hey everybody, KC here. So I'm sort of shuttling back and forth between NGA and Grocery Shop, both of which happen to be taking place in Las Vegas at the same time. And one of my observations would be actually that they seem to be taking place on different planets. But I'm not going to talk about that today. Well, that'll be part of what we talk about tomorrow on the innovation conversation with Tom Furphy. I did want to mention very briefly a session that I actually moderated this morning talking about in-store automation, both front of the house and back of the house automation, that opportunities that are open to retailers. And it was an interesting conversation, but in so many ways it illuminated to me the choice that retailers have to make, right? Because a lot of the retailers in the room, and there had to be 150 retailers in the room, they hear in-store automation and they view it as being, hey, listen, that would be great, but I have choices I have to make because I have limited funds, which is always a problem, right? And they view it as being less important than stuff that they might do in terms of like improving a department of their store, like produce or meat or whatever that happens to be, or maybe fixing the floor or putting paint on the walls. And it seems to me, listen, I am completely compassionate about the fact that they have these choices to make. But what concerns me is that when retailers say, hey, listen, I have to focus on the customer experience, I have to focus in essence, though they don't use this word, on being effective, then I'm not necessarily going to be able to focus on being efficient. I find this interesting because for a long time I've sort of preached the gospel of effectiveness on morning newsbeat, right? And that people should never sacrifice effectiveness for efficiency. But at the same time, you shouldn't, it seems to me, you have to be careful about not sacrificing efficiency for effectiveness, because when you come right down to it, if you're efficient, it makes being effective possible. It is a really interesting problem. It is a challenge that independent retailers face probably more than a lot of other retailers in the marketplace. As I say, we'll talk more about this on the innovation conversation tomorrow, but it's just on my mind. And I gotta be honest with you, if I were a retailer, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what choices I'd make. But I will say this, I mean, listen, retailers who are not willing to see that this is the stuff they have to invest in, I worry that they're just simply not going to have a sustainable business model. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.